Ladies and gentlemen, please feel free to move to the front of the stage to take pictures of the formation, but please stay off the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please find your seats as the ceremony will begin momentarily. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Commander Clemia Anderson, Director for Officer Development School. On behalf of the Commanding Officer, Officer Training Command Newport, welcome to the graduation ceremony for Officer Development School, Class 20020, consisting of 122 officers. Guests are encouraged to take photographs at any time during the ceremony, except during the playing of the National Anthem and the invocation. The order of events for this morning's ceremony is as follows. Momentarily, Captain Mark Nicholson, United States Navy, Commanding Officer, Officer Training Command Newport, and Captain Shane Cooper, Commanding Officer, Naval Justice School, the guest of honor for today's ceremony, will arrive. Guests will be asked to rise for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the playing of the National Anthem and the invocation. Both the Commanding Officer and the guest of honor will address the graduating class. Following their remarks, the Commanding Officer will then distribute the class awards. Following the award presentation, graduates will symbolize the completion of their training by returning their company guidons to their Class G petty officers. Finally, the graduating class will reaffirm the oath of office. Guests will then be asked to rise for the playing of the service songs and the final dismissal. Again, allow me to emphasize, you are encouraged to take photographs at any time during the ceremony, except during the playing of the National Anthem and the invocation. Please rise for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the National Anthem and invocation. Officer Training Command Newport, arriving. Naval Justice School, arriving. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, Chaplain Sutphin will now offer the invocation.
Let us pray. Everlasting God, make us aware of your presence, and allot to us our daily portion of your favor, that we might celebrate the accomplishment of these graduates. Honor the labors of their instructors, and recall the support of friends and family who join in these proceedings here and around the world. It is no accident that this group has come to this moment. These accomplished professionals began preparations for service to the warfighter long before they reached these grounds. We rejoice today they're coming together as Charlie and Delta companies of ODS 20020 formed and prepared for dispersion to the fleet. May they always recall fondly their formative moments on this island in winter. And may they ever seek to grow in dedication and concern for those they care for and instruct. Bless the instructors and staff. May each be blessed for what they have selflessly given and encouraged by the continued success of these graduates. We thank you for those who offer their applause here today, for those who joined this celebration from afar, and the many more who may not be present but were instrumental in the course of events that lead to this, our celebration. Watch over those whose sacrifices have made possible this time for growth and training. Be with those who stand the watch even now, that we might have the liberty to gather. In your holy name, amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Mark Nicholson, Commanding Officer, Officer Training Command, Newport.
Captain Cooper, commanding officers, captains, colonels, distinguished guests, family, friends, and shipmates of Officer Development School Class 20020. Good morning.
Good morning, sir!
Before I get too much further, I'd like to start off by formally thanking and recognizing the members of Navy Band Northeast who have provided us that patriotic music this morning. Please join me in recognizing the members of Navy Band Northeast. It's my sincere honor to be with all of you this beautiful Newport morning as we recognize and celebrate the achievement of these 122 men and women sitting in front of you. America's very best and brightest as they graduate and start their careers in the United States Navy. For the families, I want to both thank you not only for making the long trip to be here this morning, but for the exceptional performance of your sons and daughters, husbands and wives, brothers and sisters. Your love and support have helped produce the quality individuals seated here, ones who not only chose vocations to help their fellow man, but who chose a path of service in the United States Navy. For Class 20020, the profession of naval officers, much like the medical and law professions, requires its members to take an oath. In a few minutes, your parents, loved ones, along with the OTC staff and myself, will bear witness as you raise your right hand and reaffirm a sacred oath to support and defend the Constitution. This oath carries far more obligations than privileges. It carries the obligation to serve in the most trusted institution in America. According to Gallup polls that stretch back for more than a decade, the American people trust the military more than any other institution. A list that includes the Supreme Court, Congress, organized religion, police, public schools, our medical system, and our criminal justice system. It is up to you to maintain this trust. As George Washington once stated in an address to the officers of the Virginia Regiment, remember that it is the actions and not the commission that make the officer, and that there is more expected from him or her than a title. As an officer, you will lead and mentor what is truly one of our most valuable national assets, the enlisted men and women of our Navy. The American people are trusting you to care for and lead them in defending our Constitution. I challenge you to maintain and build upon the American people's trust through your actions as a naval officer. I'm very proud of the effort you've expended over the last several weeks. It's my pleasure and honor to welcome all of you as naval officers into the wardroom of the world's greatest Navy. I have another honor and privilege this morning, that of introducing our guest speaker, Captain Shane Cooper. His extensive bio can be found in your programs, but I'll hit a few highlights. Captain Cooper was commissioned in 1995 via the Naval Reserve Officer Training Corps at the College of Holy Cross. He was qualified as a submarine warfare officer before transitioning into the law education program. He holds a Master's of Laws degree from Columbia Law School, a Doctor of Law from Cornell Law School. He has served numerous tours as trial counsel and staff judge advocate at the group, force, and fleet levels, and served as the executive officer for Region Legal Service Office Northwest. Most recently, he served as force and fleet judge advocate for U.S. Naval Forces Central Command and U.S. 5th Fleet, headquartered in the Kingdom of Bahrain. Currently, he is the commanding officer of the Naval Justice School here in Newport. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a warm welcome to this morning's guest speaker, Captain Shane Cooper.
Distinguished visitors, families and friends, and especially the officers of ODS Class 20020. Good morning. Good morning, sir! That'll wake me up. I am so excited, happy, honored, and humbled to join you in today's celebration in recognition of a very important milestone in the careers of the 122 talented naval officers assembled here today. For each of these officers, this milestone represents the important beginning points of their careers in the Navy. No matter your prior experience in the civilian sector or past military service, for you today, this is an important beginning. And that is the reason why I'm so excited for you, because in this beginning stage, anything is possible for you. The future is yours to seize. You are blessed with an incredible opportunity to blaze a unique trail in service to a cause greater than oneself. a cause that involves service to your fellow citizens and to a grateful nation to secure our peace, prosperity, and freedom. So my goal in today's remarks is to cover some ground in 3 areas. First, to extend some thanks and gratitude. Second, to highlight the tremendous potential of what Class 20020 brings to the Navy's mission and capabilities. And third, just to offer a few general pieces of advice for your consideration as you move forward in your careers. So first, for those thanks and gratitude. For the families and friends who love and support these graduates, who are here in this live audience today and are watching this from all over the country and the world in this streaming broadcast of the ceremony, on behalf of the Navy and these officers here today, I thank you. I thank you for the love, support, mentorship, and coaching that you have provided to produce these fine officers who represent the very best our nation has to offer. But more importantly, I am thanking you in advance. In advance for the sacrifices that you're going to be asked to make on behalf of your loved one who is taking on the challenge of serving in uniform. This sacrifice that some of you have already felt will involve separation, anxiety, stress, and challenges not ordinarily felt by other Americans. And while you shoulder these burdens, I can tell you that I do not think it is possible, or at least it makes it really difficult, for these officers here to serve our nation without your support and your sacrifices. And these officers will continue to rely upon your support as they embark on an exciting new stage in their careers. So I'd like to take a moment and pause and to have the students please join me in applauding our families and friends who provide their unwavering support to these officers. And for the staff of the Officer Development School, as a member of another training school just down the street, I fully appreciate the excitement and passion you have when you invest your time and energy into this next generation of officers. In my conversations with you, I can sense your passion is much like that of all of the staffs at training schools that are around this base here in Newport. And as a staff member, we know, many of us, likely have less years left in our career than the number of years that we have already served. And we can feel and we can see how we are passing the torch and passing on our learned traditions and hard-fought lessons learned to this next generation. So we can soon stand relieved of the watch, knowing that we can rest assured that this group here will stay on the watch and stand it better than we have. And so for all of that, I also want to pause, take a moment, and ask the students to recognize and thank this ODS staff for their hard work and efforts spent with this class. All right, second, let's talk about what this group of officers brings to the Navy's mission. What I think is unique about this commissioning source is that we are taking esteemed professionals in their fields of service from our civilian community, medical and dental professionals, health service professionals, legal professionals, chaplains, other technical professions in nuclear propulsion, engineering duty, aerospace engineers, civil engineers, public affairs, strategic sea lift, intelligence, information warfare and information technology, and last but never least, the logisticians and supply professionals. And we take these skilled professionals in the many disciplines I just mentioned, and at ODS, these officers, they work through a transformation process to become members in another profession, the profession of arms, leaders, naval officers. And for each of these officers, they are embarking on a challenging path where we will expect them to merge their technical expertise as professionals and that they brought with them here to the Navy and merge that with the profession of arms. Steeped in the traditions and customs of the naval service, underwritten by our core values of honor, courage, and commitment. And this nation and our Navy will need each of you. We need your diverse backgrounds. We need your diverse skill sets, and we will put them to good use as the Navy is engaged in an era of great power competition and in the face of existing and emerging threats to our national security. Which brings me to the third and final part, just a few pieces of advice for the students. And I'd like to pause and ask who was here yesterday at that great reception out in town, in Middletown, right? A number of families and friends and obviously the students. First, I want to thank the students for hosting that event. That was really great. And I want to also point out the comments by one of your staff, Lieutenant Commander Randall, yesterday afternoon. I think I should have just hit record and said, yes, everything he just said. I really can't say it much better, but let me just add just a few things. I'd ask you to consider 3 things going forward. First, please take care of yourselves. You need to do that in order to build and maintain your resilience. Your physical fitness, mental well-being, and development of personal connections with others is paramount to maintaining that resilience. And when you are resilient, then you'll be ready to meet the demands of public service to our Navy. And second, as Lieutenant Commander Randall mentioned to you yesterday, never stop learning. With each and every professional, technical, or leadership issue that you face, be intentional and mindful about what you are learning from that experience in the moment. File that experience away to draw upon for later, so that you can always be your best self and leader when called again to employ that expertise in service to our Navy. And third, I ask that you be a team player, and especially treat your subordinates and peers, and anyone, of course, who you encounter with professionalism, civility, sincerity, and integrity. Be genuine and be yourself. I would personally advise you to try not to fake it. Try not to portray a character of what you think a leader ought to act like. You need to trust the leadership training that you received here at ODS and that future training that you will continue to receive on the job and at future Navy schoolhouses. And be yourself while you employ the leadership practices and skills that you've already developed over your lifetime. And when you are genuine, your peers and your subordinates will see that. And then you will earn their trust. And they will be inspired to follow you in the positive example that you continue to set. So in closing, I wish each member of the class of 20020 and your loved ones the very best in the future. It is my hope that you will look back on your time here in Newport and recognize it as a significant moment of transition in your professional lives. And as you join the long line of Navy officers who also began their careers here in Newport, and as you think about your time here at ODS in Newport, I hope you just won't focus on the memories of the cold, windy winter days here. But I trust that you will remember the people you met, your shipmates here, your staff. And then I hope that one day you will find yourself back in Newport again, someday down the road. I would suggest try summertime next time. And perhaps you'll be here for a future leadership course or a tour of duty. And wherever your career path takes you, I assure you that your time in service will be memorable and a part of your life that you will always cherish. I wish each of you the very best as you move out to blaze your paths of leadership and service to our Navy. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you, Captain Cooper and Captain Nicholson. At the conclusion of each ODS class, several students are recognized by their fellow classmates as well as OTC and staff for outstanding achievement during the 5-week course of instruction. Ensign Bradford Huff and Lieutenant Commander Brian Shapiro, front and center. The Honor Student Award is presented to the officer who best demonstrates an overall excellence in the areas of academics, physical fitness, and military bearing. Consistently setting the example for his peers throughout the many challenges faced at Officer Training Command, the Honor Student Award goes to Ensign Bradford Huff and Lieutenant Commander Brian Shapiro. Ensign Andrew Krause and Lieutenant Commander Scott Zuckerman, front and center. The Alfred Award is given to the officer who achieves the highest military grade derived from personnel inspections, room inspections, and general military bearing. This award is named after the Continental sloop of war, the Alfred. Commissioned in 1775, the Alfred served as the flagship of native Rhode Islander Commodore Essex Hopkins. Serving as a role model of Navy pride and professionalism, maintaining the highest military standards, and providing inspiration to all, the Alfred Award goes to Ensign Andrew Krause and Lieutenant Commander Scott Zuckerman. Ensign Junior Cho and Lieutenant J.G. David Milosha, front and center. The Captain George Townsend Smith Leadership Award is presented to the officer who personifies the highest standards of personal example, good leadership practices, and moral responsibility. The recipients of this award were nominated by their peers and selected by the Officer Training Command staff. Captain George Townsend Smith Leadership Award goes to Ensign Junior Cho and Lieutenant J.G. David Milosha. Ensign Rebecca Arias and Ensign Jason Walsh, front and center. The Eady Award, named for Lieutenant Thomas Eady, United States Navy, recognizes the highest achievement in academic and military performance. Lieutenant Thomas Eady, who immigrated from Scotland and settled in Rhode Island, was awarded the Navy Cross and the Medal of Honor for his courageous efforts as a diver during the salvage of submarines SS-4 and SS-51 off the coast of Massachusetts. He was a member of the Southeastern New England chapter of the Retired Officers Association at the time of his death in 1974. In recognition of this achievement, in addition to a certificate of achievement, the Military Officers Association of America has generously provided a 3-year premium mode membership. The Eady Award winners are Ensign Rebecca Arias and Ensign Jason Walsh. For the past 5 weeks, the company guidon has been a symbol of spirit, dedication, teamwork, and unit identity. To symbolize the fact that the officers seated before you have completed their training, they will return their guidon to their Class Chief Petty Officers, Chief Boatswain's Mate Gary McCoy, and Chief Hospital Corpsman Aaron Paul. At this time, Lieutenant Lawrence Solo will deliver the reaffirmation of the oath of office. Would all military personnel in uniform please come to the position of attention? Ladies and gentlemen, the Commanding Officer of Officer Training Command Newport would like to present to you your newly reaffirmed naval officers. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the service songs and the final dismissal. Officer Development School, Class 20020. Upon graduation from Officer Development School, you are ordered to detach and report to your duty stations, where you will assume your duties and responsibilities by order of Mark Nicholson, Captain, United States Navy, Commanding Officer, Officer Training Command, Newport. Class 20020, dismissed. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our ceremony. On behalf of the commanding officer, we would like to thank you for attending today's ceremony. All students are directed to move immediately to the front of the stage for class pictures, and we ask that all guests remain at your seats until the pictures have been taken. Thank you. Will the awardees please come to the front of the stage to take the pictures with the guest of honor and the commanding officer? If you are a family member who has someone who received an award, please feel free to come to the right of the stage so that you can take pictures of them getting a picture with the commanding officer and the guest of honor as well.
Yo, you called me.